nice little discussion that we're going to have here. Okay. You are in control of your career. Nobody else is. Okay. This is not Wendy's. All right. And I use Wendy's because I used to work at Wendy's when I was, when I was young. Okay. All right. At some point in our lives, okay, all right, and I was 16 years old when I decided I would never work at another fast food restaurant again. Okay, at that point, I had worked at Little Caesars, I had worked at Subway, okay, and Wendy's was my first job that I had. That I was there for a year, and I was like, wow, I actually lasted a year. Okay, and for whatever reason, I got fired. Okay, I had went back there years later to the corporate office to actually try to get a job there as a manager. Okay, and because of whatever happened when I was there, all right, they used that against me. Okay, and what had happened was I was actually making comments with one of the people that I was working with. Okay, and some jerk of a customer in the drive-through literally started yelling at me as if I was talking to her and about her. Okay, all right, and it was so ignorant and so rude that I just threw her change into the car, right? Because I'm like, I'm not taking that crap from you or anybody else, right? So you're going to learn one way or another that when you stand up for yourself, okay, all right, and it's funny because at some point in your life you look back or you look around and you say, nobody defends me. I defend everybody else. I take care of my friends. I take care of my family. Okay, but nobody defends me. So you know what? If no one's going to defend me, I'm going to defend myself. Now at that point, okay, when you start doing that, you are the individual that is completely out of control. Okay, and people try their best to convince you of this. Okay? Now, out of control is a very strong statement. Okay? All right? Never in my life, okay, in a work environment, have I ever screamed at the top of my lungs? Have I ever thrown anything? Have I ever even used profanity in a way that was ridiculous, insulting, belittling? Never ever. Okay. Now, as you can tell, I'm a workaholic. All right. So from the moment, and you also got to understand, if we paint some picture here, go back way back in the day. I opened up my very first business when I was 15 years old. Okay. All right. Either 15 or 16. I can't remember. All right. I think it was 16. All right. It was my first computer business. All right. All right. I've had four businesses in my life. And as you can see, I was chasing a dream. I was chasing the be my own boss type mentality. Okay. All right. And don't get me wrong. All right. I will still do that because that's just who I am. I'm a leader. I'm a problem solver. I'm a business guy. Okay. But one thing I can teach you really is how to have a business fail. Okay. Now, look how easy it was for me to say that. Yeah, I only started because I lost the words. All right. I could definitely teach you how a business, how to fail a business. All right. Now, four businesses in my lifetime, okay, all of them failed. Okay. However, let's see how they failed. They failed because I had a deadline, a time frame. Okay, if I'm not making profits at this particular period of time, okay, it needs to die. I decide when my businesses die. Okay, how many people have I seen? Okay, before I say this, two rules I have. One, when it's time to go, kill it. Okay, Move on. Rule number 2, I'm not opening my business with debt. If my whole purpose of a business is to make profit, why in the hell am I going to go out and get a loan, already put myself in debt to buy trucks and equipment, okay? First of all, that I already have, right? Okay. Second of all, buy a 3-ton or 1-ton truck that's diesel, okay? It costs me 50 grand. All right. It doesn't make any business sense from a business perspective. Okay. And how many times have I seen this? Oh my God. It's like a cliche. All right. And that cliche ends up always where the business goes under, and guess what they do? Remember, my business is failing. Okay. And it's at its last rope. All right. And I'm going to tell you, you could take 5 years of a savings with a business, okay, and you can lose it in a fucking month, okay? Business is hardcore, man. I mean, it is just hardcore, and you got to understand that you are paying everybody else first. You are the last person. You don't get to reap any of the benefits, especially when they are none, because it's a bleeding sieve, okay? It's a levee that has gone broken. All right? So, you can either try to repair the levee, which everybody does. Okay? Everybody does. It's like, and when you look back, it's like, why am I the only one that's not doing this? Okay? And that's not the case. It just seems that way. Next thing you know, okay, you go and you borrow money from your mom, from your cousin, from your brother, from your uncle. And next thing you know, your logic doesn't seem to actually exist because you decided to open up a business with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, okay, with loans, okay, and at that point, with that money that you had, you've lost that money, you've used that money, you spent it, okay, and you're not getting any customers coming in that's being profitable, all right? You're trying to actually do work to try to beat your actual competitors, all right? Which should not be the focus. Your focus should be running your business. All right. Next thing you know, you're doing things for so low of a money. Okay. I would rather. All right. I've done it one time, and I would never do it again. All right. I did it one time to help a group of guys that bought a house. Okay. I did a whole HVAC system for $4,000. Never, ever. It was the last time. Okay. The lack of appreciation. All right. Everybody has a sad story. Everybody has, why they can't do it and why they need this deal. And in reality is all they care about, okay, is taking their money and keeping it in their pocket, okay, and cheating the person that they're trying to actually get the service from. That's all. That's all they are. And you can see this after the fact. Because when the job is done, the way they act after the fact, okay, especially if there's a problem, right, you can see their true colors, all right? And you start realizing real fast that, wow, okay, this is my fault. All right, I'm the dumbass that believed this story. I'm the dumbass that actually got involved with this, okay, and allowed these people to actually manipulate me in believing that they were in the situation that they were in, okay? Now, your business has failed, and it's failing hardcore. And I'm going to tell you another piece of advice or something to talk about, and that is the sky is the limit. But let me tell you something, okay? When you're down on the ground and you are grinding and grinding and grinding and manipulating finances and moving money from here to pay here to pay here, okay? All right, it's okay when you're behind on your bills a few months, okay, including rent, all right, but your total money that you owe is like $3,000 or $4,000. To you, that's like, I'll never get out of this, all right, and all you want deep in your heart is money left over at the end of the month, and you can't do that because you're moving money from here to here to here to here to here to here, okay? Now, but when you hit the sky, okay, when you fall, holy shit. And next thing you know, you look back and you say, oh my God, I couldn't even handle $3,000 in debt. And in 2 months, I'm $15,000 in debt. Yeah, that's the problem. Because for some reason, as we move up, we spend more money. And you know what's funny? My whole way of life has always been lower my bills, increase my income. Okay? And I had a series at one point of doubling and tripling and 4 times in your income. Okay? Based on what you did in your spare time. Okay, these things that I teach are not jokes. I don't ask for any money. Okay? I'm not telling you, wait, there's more. Okay, I'm not your average YouTuber that goes out and tells you, don't click off this video, don't do another thing until you listen to this video. It's all fake. It is literally a cliche. Okay, it is someone being dishonest, someone who is actually trying to tell you how successful they are. In reality, okay, they can barely pay their bills just as much as you are. I have read and gone to so many seminars. And I'm going to tell you, here's the reality. All right? If I'm not learning something within the first 5-10 minutes of me reading that book, we're done. That book goes in the trash. Okay? I don't need stories. I need methods, procedures, processes. Okay? All right? Out of all the real estate stuff, okay, that I have read, all right, because I was really big into real estate back then, which, at this point, in this part of my life, I'm actually, pretty close to actually really doing it, but I'm going to be doing it in a different way, okay? Not going out buying houses originally like I was going to do. Now, only one course, okay, out of all of them, all right, that if you got up to go to the bathroom, you're going to miss something, all right? It's Carlton Sheets, okay? All right? And his course got such a bad rap, and people will shit on it all the time because of the fact that the title of it is No Money Down, okay? It wasn't the concept of you being able to go out and get everything you want for no money down. Okay, that's the concept of people's mindset. Always trying to obtain with no attempt to achieve. All right? You want to know who said that? It was X-Clan. All right? And it's no joke. Always trying to obtain with no attempt to achieve. All right, and to be honest, I really wish my camera was working so you could see the expression on my face. This is as serious as a person can get when talking about life itself. You're here for a reason, to learn networking, okay? But I'm going to give you a little bit more than that. I'm going to give you an understanding that, like this picture, this woman is in chaos, okay? And you know why? Because everybody around this female, okay, or this poor lady, all right, is telling her what she needs to do, and she's believing it. She believes that when she goes and works for a company, they have the right to tell her what to do without her saying anything, okay? I want you to look at and go back and feel what type of person that you are going to be when you follow those strains. No one's telling you to go out there and bump heads, Okay, because I'm gonna tell you, I got some stories for you. All right, this is not just about technology. You are providing a service. You're getting paid to provide a service. How serious are you going to take that service? Okay? If you wake up in the morning, all right, perfect example, all right, being a contractor and being a consultant, best thing I ever did. Okay? And you know why? All right? It isn't the short-term jobs that I had, okay, because the tri-state area, excuse me, I got to stretch. The tri-state area, okay? Yeah, I had to stand up so I could walk around. Tri-state area, Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. Now, I'm going to get winded here in a second, okay? So just bear with me, and then I'm going to sit down and take a rest. All right? I'm already starting to get winded. So now, the tri-state area of Maryland, Virginia, and D.C., okay? These are at will states. Now, at will means that they can let you go at any time. Okay, and now we gotta have some history going way back in the day, back in the mid 1990s. Okay, where recruiters first started hitting the scene in an abundance. Okay, this was great for companies. Okay, you could never talk to the company directly. Okay, all right, you could never get an interview. You could not call a company to get an interview, and they will send you to the recruiters. All right, now it's gotten a lot better. Okay, because these companies are no longer looking for seat fillers. They're looking for people who really have a skill set. Okay, they played that game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work. Okay, but you got recruiters playing games as well. And I want you to picture this. Okay, if the recruiting firm has the power to be a proxy for the company, he or she is also a proxy for you. Now, because of that, what ends up happening is, let's say you're making $60 an hour, okay? All right? You are a senior person. You do a hell of a job. You bust your butt, okay? But you can't seem to be working a full year out of every year, okay? All right? And this starts to really pound on you. But, okay, have you ever noticed that every time your contract ends for whatever reason, do you never get an explanation? Okay? Now, if that's the case, if I don't get an explanation for why you're letting me go, why should I say that I got fired? Think about it. How about if I use the words the contract ended successfully? Because that's exactly what it did. It ended successfully. They successfully ended the contract with you. They gave you no reason. You can't get any feedback. Okay? All right? And those are the words that I use to actually explain why the contract ended. All right? You don't have to go and say, I got fired because, and have this whole story about how you're the victim. Okay? Because what that does is it creates a picture of you always being the victim. Because every 3 months to 6 months, even though they're 3-month contracts, okay? All right? You have the reason why you were treated badly and unfairly. It just doesn't look good, okay? All right? Now, they say perception is reality. That's a crock of shit, okay? What's happening is you're allowing them to control, okay? All right? You see those engineering jobs coming in? I need to shut that down before something embarrassing comes in. Hold on. Let's shut down the email. All right. Now, okay, now I lost my train of thought. okay, you have allowed your belief of control to be surrendered under the concept of you playing a game. Guys, this is not a game. All right? That whole crap about fake it till you make it, that ain't no, that's, guys, that's some bullshit. You're playing a game with your life. You're playing a game with your career, and you think this is okay because everybody else is doing it. All right? Just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean you should be doing it. And not to mention the fact, why don't you take a look at their lives? The car they're driving, how they act, where they're at. All right, you might not be able to find out how much they make, but at the same time, they're your neighbor, man. They're in the same position you are. Okay? Don't sit there and tell me black people have it bad, because my neighbor is white and he has it just as bad as I do. All right? There's no excuse for that crap. All right? And I'm kidding. And I'm not kidding. All right? This is as serious as you can get. This is your life, man. How can you give your control up? But we do it all the time because we believe these rules have to be followed. A corporation makes their rules, okay, and they call it policy, okay? All right? But guess what? You have a skill set. And you know why you have a skill set? I'm going to tell you why you have a skill set. Because you took it seriously. Okay? Seriously. Waking up 2 o'clock in the morning, dreaming about configs, going every goddamn day, all right? Doing whatever it takes, all right? Quitting, then coming back, all right? With a vengeance, all right? Because all you really needed to do was get, just have some rest, getting burnt out, okay? All right? These parts of the struggle is why they call it a journey, all right? You are in control, all right? If you're working for a help desk, what should you be doing at that help desk? Because I swear to God, and I'm not kidding, guys, you can take it as an insult, and I apologize for anyone who gets insulting, but if 12 years later you're still sitting at that damn help desk, something is wrong. Okay? Something is wrong. 12 years of your life doing help desk. Guys, help desk is nothing more than a stepping stone. It's usually chaotic. It's usually managed by people who have rules that don't make no sense for no reason. Okay? All right? These are the people that actually will tell you that the pandemic was never real, right? COVID was just some type of fantasy. Okay? All right? There's one thing to have an epidemic. There's another thing to have a pandemic. The entire world. All right? And I've said for many years that it's not going to be nuclear war that kills us. It's going to be a virus. It's going to be an actual bacteria or a virus that our dumbasses created, and it's going to kill us all. All right? Wipe us out. All right? There's no fear there, though. Okay? It was handled very well. All right? A lot of people will talk and bitch about how it wasn't handled well. Hey, guys, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. You and I could be living, it could literally be the zombie apocalypse. Okay? You and I stealing from each other. Right? Killing for a can of peaches. It could be a lot worse. Stop focusing on what you don't have and focus on what you do have. Okay? All right? Most people have seen my entire basement when I had a basement. All right? Okay? Now I just got a room, which is fine, but we're going to change that. But nonetheless, you saw everything that I owned in that basement. That's my life. That's all I need. I don't need anything else. I got everything I need. Food, water. I got health issues. Okay. The research that I do on my own health. Okay. All right. I could do research for the whole weekend if I have to. Whatever it takes. All right. I'm a problem solver. If anybody asks me what I do in my life, I'm a problem solver. I solve problems. Okay? Been doing this since I was 12 years old. All right? Been doing it sooner, probably sooner than that. I just didn't even realize it. Okay? All right? And I want you to understand at one point, even in my 20s, guys, to me, I was the epitome of idiocy. The most stupid person on the planet, and I'm just not smart enough to do anything because this is what was embedded into my brain. However, one logic tech for one logic test from a company proved that there was more up here than I could ever imagine. Okay? It was life-changing. By the time I hit 21, my outlook of myself was different because I started paying attention to what my choices and my decisions were based on others. And I'm going to tell you, everybody and their mother is going to tell you what you should do. And these people who are telling you what you should do got nothing more than you have. Think about it. Well, you know what you should do is, first of all, 9 times out of 10, they have no common reference. They have no idea what you're going through. Okay, but damn, boy, do they have an opinion. All right? You need to take control of your life. Okay? My resume, I started off with version 1.0, then 1.1, then 1.2, and 1.3. Now, when I get to 2.0, how many times have I redone my resume then? Okay? And in the last, I don't know, decade, okay, 15 years, I think I've been in the field for 15 years. Oh my God. Wow. Whoa. Nonetheless, I'm on version 7.1, about to go to 7.2. That's 60 times, guys. 60 times I have redone my resume. What does that tell you? Okay? I focused my resume on information, okay? As far as being very detailed, all right? Making sure the format is in a flowing situation where every company that they want to look at, it's indented where all their eyes have to do is just follow the page down. Okay, in every spot you'll see every location going down the page, they can pick out where my companies are just like that. They can pick out my dates just like that. They can find out what type of service I provided just like that. Okay? All right? Now, never, ever have I had a person come back and tell me, all right, that this resume was not good. Matter of fact, I actually hired someone. I paid $200 for a resume writer. He changed my whole format, everything. Worst resume I ever had. Okay? That was the end of it. All right? Because you read, hire a professional, this is not what you do every day. Okay? And that guy provided me crap. I even started getting complaints from recruiters saying your resume it's bad. I mean, bad. I had one guy say it is the worst he's ever seen. Okay? All right? I tried it out. I didn't like it myself either. So I went back to me. That resume is mine. This is who I am. Okay? That's what I put on paper. The truth and who I am. My words. I can't tell you how many times a person goes out and has no idea what is on their resume because somebody else embellished it. Okay? All right? And they're sitting in an interview and it says, well, it seems like, it looks like here, you have some leadership experience. You never led a person a day in your life. You didn't even know that was on the resume. Okay? I know every word that's on that resume because every word is my creation. Okay? Guys, it's okay to ask for help, but understand what you're doing. There's a lot more to this field than just you learning commands on a CLI. All right? You are a human being. You're interacting with other human beings. There's so many steps that are taken to get you into an interview in the first place. Okay? All right? You know why I got my CCIE? And I'm not kidding. First of all right, I got tired of proving to people in an interview that I know what I'm talking about. It seemed like I was defending myself as a CCNP. All right, CCNA was worse. All right, with the CCIE, there's no question. I don't get that defense, that sense of me defending myself when I'm in an interview anymore. Okay, and also I wanted more interviews to come my way. I had a hard time getting an interview for a while. I couldn't do it. Put that CCIE on that paper, things changed. It did change my life. Okay, in a good way. From the moment I decided, because at one point before I decided to go Cisco, I was debating Cisco or Microsoft. Matter of fact, I had asked my mother. I talked to my mother about it because my mother's an IT manager. I don't know if you guys knew that. Okay, even when I was a kid, I remember her taking me to her job and just walking into the actual the cold room that you needed a badge to get into, and all these tape drives, the sound, the moving parts, everything. Okay, watching the tapes go around in circles and circles, and this and that hum, okay, was like music to my ears. All right, and I was a young kid. All right, I don't know why. It just all I knew is that was my favorite room. Okay, the punch card machines. I've told that story before. My mom would get so mad. She says, "Stop, Kyle. This is my job. Stop playing around. That's not a toy." All right, because I used to love hitting a bunch of keys and throwing that card through the punch machine. Okay, all right. She had asked, she was like, I got someone that you might be able to talk to. Okay, didn't I shut that down? All right. I guess it's still running. Close. And I don't really. That's just a message. I don't see it at all. That was weird. I wasn't expecting a notification to pop up for something that's actually not even active. I've never seen that before. All right. But nonetheless, okay. And this person had convinced me. I'm sorry, had tried to convince me to go to Microsoft. Okay, to go to Microsoft route. All right, and I still chose Cisco. All right, just because I'm asking for his advice doesn't mean I take his advice. All right, guys, you have to be in control of your destiny. Nobody else. This is your life, not theirs. All right, and you have to understand that 9 times out of 10, like when I walk in a particular contract and I get there at 5 o'clock in the morning, every morning, okay, all right, people don't show up until 8:15. They're supposed to be at work at 8 o'clock. I'm there at 5 o'clock in the morning. All right, it's quiet. I get so much done in a 3 hour period that those people get all done all day because they come in around 8:10, 8:15. Okay, they get their coffee. All right, and they bullshit around talking about sports and everything else, and they really don't even start doing any emails or any work until 11 o'clock. All right, and the next thing you know, in an hour, it's lunch. All right, and they're there until 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock every night. I wonder why. Okay, You know what time did I leave work? 2 o'clock on an average. 2 hours after lunch. All right? Most of the time I take my lunch at 10 o'clock in the morning. I mean, think about it. I get there at 5 o'clock in the morning. All right? Oh, and trust me, they're so concerned about you. They're so concerned about you, okay, that you start realizing the people who are concerned about you so much about what time you leave, when you take off, and things like that. And of course, if you're someone like me, you don't take off. All right. I mean, you're there every day, regardless. Okay. Regardless of what's going on in your life, you're there every day. All right. And from the concept of me leaving at 2 o'clock, hey, I got here at 5 o'clock. I got a list of things I've done today. All right. And then you start questioning, how the hell does Kyle get all this stuff done? Okay. He's a producing machine. No, I'm not. Okay. If I get there at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm there until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, how many hours is that? Okay. Think about it. All right. It's definitely more than 8, right? Well, let's do it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yeah. 9 hours. Okay. All right. So now, by the time you get to work, I've had 3 hours ahead of you. I've done my hours for the day. You don't know this because you don't come in until after 8. You just assume I got there at 8 o'clock. All right? And not to mention the fact, why are you worrying about what I'm doing anyway? All right? Why am I your concern? Shouldn't you be worrying about your own career? And then you start realizing that these are the people that always have something to complain about. Okay? These are the people that come in every Monday. It's like, well, how you doing, man? Well, it's Monday. God, Monday was my favorite day of the week, man. I can't, man, the weekends, even though I was studying at that particular time, all right, I love the weekends, all right, because I got 12 to 15 hours of studying time in at that period of time, all right, but Mondays was, oh my God, I got my whole week planned out. I know exactly what I'm going to do this week, all right, and I cannot wait until Monday. It's work day, all right? There was no, hey, Kyle, how you doing? Well, it's Monday. Okay. The first thing on your mind when you come into work at the start of the week where you should be refreshed and energetic, okay, your only concern is it Friday yet? It's the same crap every day, all day long, and everybody says it, okay? It gets to the point where you just don't ask people how they are anymore. All right? Because you got more important things to focus on. All right? So now it's no longer stopping and talking because I'm telling you, every time you explain something to someone, oh, this is what I did, blah, 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 blah. Every phone call you make, someone is sitting there watching you. And it's like, wow, no wonder you're so miserable. All right? All these actions, all these little things, attitude reflects leadership, okay? All right? That's the key right there. Attitude reflects leadership. And if you're in a position where your leadership is aggressive, unprofessional, rude, someone that likes to belittle you, someone likes to, make an example out of you all the time, someone who thinks it's funny, someone who's a narcissist, someone who's actually a control freak, okay? All right? What do? It's time for you to move on. You're not going to work to be miserable. You got enough work as it is. The work itself is going to make you miserable. Why are you going to actually have more things on your plate to make you even more miserable. Okay? Now, when I say miserable, the work's gonna make you miserable. It's work. No one said it was a party. It's work. Okay? All right? And you love your job until they tell you, hey, we got 200 routers and need to change this description on the actual on these ports that go into the servers. Someone actually named it server 1 and it should have been named server 13 because of the building. And so that means I have to go into 200 devices. And I don't mean 200 ports. I mean 200 separate devices. Okay? All right? For a description change. Yeah, that sucks. All right? It blows. But, okay? It's work. Just get it done. The faster you start, the sooner it'll be over. Get it done. And the happiness of when you're done, those endorphins will make you like, oh my God, I can't. You sit there and you shake your head. I cannot believe this was an actual task that they gave me. Okay. And you got a smile on your face. All right. Because you did it. All right. You didn't bitch. You didn't complain. You just did the work. All right. It's time for you to find somewhere else. Because for a person who's treating you like that, there's going to be a person or a company that you don't have to deal with that. And you are a skilled person that is in demand. You don't have to worry about that. 2 things I always wanted to do ever since my first job. 1, increase my income. Okay? If I was making $5 an hour, I was like, I just want to make 8. I just want to make $8 an hour, okay? And I find, and I get to the point where I finally find a job making $8 an hour. Now I want 10, all right? Then I finally get my 10. Now I want 15, all right? When I was an electrician, I looked at my position and saying, this is the maximum money I can get. I can't go any farther once I hit this level. And you're telling me it's going to take me 5 years to get here and then I can't go any further? No. That career had to go. All right? And it was just me asking questions about their pay. How, especially when you're in the union, you can talk about your pay all you want because everybody at a particular level gets the same pay. All right? So everybody knows what the pay scale is from level 1 all the way up to level God knows what, right? When you're a mechanic or an A mechanic, okay? All right? A mechanics make $20 an hour after they finish their schooling. Okay? The only way to get more money, now, again, this is way back in the day. I don't know what it is now. The only way to get more money is to actually get licensed in another state. Okay? All right? Now, you are not in control of everything. So stop thinking you are. Learn the technology, create a skill set, make you wanted in this industry. And it's not easy. And it's not quick. Okay? Because experience does go the long way. However, the real learning is at home. In your spare time. Learning the technology, labbing at home. I don't give a shit what anyone tells you because I've had this argument 1,000 times over. And these people who argue this, these are the people who can't log into a goddamn machine with a console cable. What the hell? How did you get this job? Okay? All right? So at some point you realize that people are getting hired that don't have a skill set. All right? And you have a skill set and that makes you angry. Stop. Stop it. Stop worrying about everybody else. You have your skill set. They can't take it from you. All right? You did your job. They didn't. It shows. Okay? Stop being this poor female here, this poor lady. She is losing her mind. Okay? She can't even think straight. And everything now, her mind is scrambled. Now, every word she says is like, well, sorry, I'm not trying to, insult you, or I'm not trying to do this, I'm not trying to do that. And now she can't even get a sentence out without saying sorry with every sentence because she's afraid. Be strong. Be determined. Be Cisco.